After COVID brought us Mank, a movie that many people feared was the beginning of the end of David Fincher's career, he is back now with a brand new film, The Killer, and I am here to bring you my review. Recently, we got a brand new film from critically acclaimed director David Fincher, The Killer. This is a movie I was very excited for. It was in my top 10 most anticipated films of the year list, and now that it's finally here, I was so happy to finally sit down and watch it. David Fincher is one of the greatest directors of our generation and of our time. He is considered up there with Tarantino and Nolent as the film bros directors. Those are the directors that everybody gets into when they get into movies, and the directors that every film bro loves. And so, whenever one of them have a new movie, I am always so excited and I can't wait to check it out. Getting into this brand new movie, The Killer, I would say it is better than Mank, but I can't say it's one of Fincher's best works. It does have its issues, while it has its positives. And getting into that, for starters, I do feel that this is a pretty generic story. It is a story about a hitman or a bounty hunter, you know, a hire to kill type character, and his mission fails, and that leads to all these different things happening and all these different events that he has to go on and try to, you know, fix his wrongs and fix what has happened. And while that's a story that, if you look up that generic plot online, you can find 200 films that follow that storyline, this movie does have David Fincher's touch to it. It does have his, you know, personality on the movie, and so I think that elevates it, because when you get a great director to do a generic plot, usually the movie ends up as a little better than generic, and I think that's what happened here. That being said, it can't be one of my favorite Finchers because of that generic aspect to it. I feel like a lot of Fincher's great films like Gone Girl and Social Network and Fight Club, they have these things about them where they have these twists and these turns, and they always feel so fresh, and you're so captivated while watching. And so it makes him such a great director that when you get a story that is a bit generic, that isn't fresh and new, that can hurt it a little bit for me. But like I said, this is a well done version of that story. If this movie had a different director's name attached, maybe I'd say it was better. I don't know. I think having Fincher attached did make it work better, so we'll see once I come around to my overall rating here. To build off that, some of the things that I really loved about this film, one being the soundtrack. I like the Smiths. I think they are a great band, and I like the Smith songs that were played in this movie. I thought it was really cool how all the music came through our lead character, Michael Fassbender, putting his headphones in and playing the song. And when you're from his point of view, you hear the song louder, but when you're from an outer point of view, you kind of hear the song muffled, as if, you know, someone has it on nearby, but it's not directly to you. That was pretty cool. I think this movie deserves to be nominated for sound design and sound mixing. Incredible in that aspect. And Michael Fassbender, always an exceptional actor. He was great in this. You really felt that his character was a sociopath, not a psychopath, but definitely a sociopath. The way he methodically went about the things he did in his line of work, the way that he had these things he would repeat to himself every time he was about to, you know, perform one of his jobs, take somebody down. It was quite interesting to see. He did a very good job at that. He was, for real, a sociopathic character. I think Fincher knew how to use that behind the camera, how to follow his point of views and his perspectives and really get the most out of that character. This movie really works because of Michael Fassbender and because of following him around, because of Fincher's work behind the camera. Like I said, it is a generic story, so when it comes to Fincher's script writing and his storytelling, I don't think it's one of his strongest, but I do think this is one of Fincher's strongest works behind the camera. The shots that you get in this movie are very interesting. They are very cool to watch. The way that it's filmed and the way that the camera follows the scenes, it does allow you to feel like you're a part of this movie. It allows you to really dive into it and understand what is happening, and you are almost sucked in, not because of the story, but because of what is happening on the screen. And like I said, that is a sign of a great director. That's a sign of a David Fincher director directing this film. To get into some of the things I'm mixed on, I think the script could have been a bit stronger. I'm not saying it's a bad script, but there's certain things that I don't think worked. I know Fincher likes to have these big dramatic endings in his movies, and usually that works for me, but with this one, when we finally find who the main, you know, antagonist is of this film and why all these events are happening, it doesn't feel that earned to me. And when we find out why his house was attacked and why these things happened to him, it doesn't feel that earned to me. I think those things should have been shown earlier on in the movie, so that when you are working towards this ending and you are working towards getting there, it feels more earned, and so that the final events of this film actually mean more to you. I don't know. For me, the way that it was written, the way that this film went about its story, it didn't feel earned. That's a big what if for me. Like, if this script was reworked, would it have been better? I don't know. I don't know, just one of my issues. And another issue I have is that I felt like this movie never really got going. The first half hour was quite boring, honestly, and then after that point, once we get to the scene where Fassbender gets back to his house and all these events start ensuing, that is more interesting. It does start to pick up its pacing, and that I can appreciate, but I don't know, still, this movie never really gets going. I mean, you got films like Fight Club where it gets going right off the bat. You got films like Gone Girl where 5, 10, 15 minutes of story building and then non-stop just go, go, go. These movies that he creates are so intense, and while you're watching them, you are nervous, you are sick to your stomach for the characters and what is happening on screen, and I feel like this one just never really did that for me. Yes, I was involved in the movie and I was invested in what I was watching, but never once did I feel like, I don't know, like it really started going for me. So overall, you know, well directed, very well acted. The sound and music were very, very well, and for me, that's always a big thing, because my favorite things are music and movies, and so when those two are paired perfectly, I can really appreciate that. I really love that. But those three positives, and, you know, I think the film was paced fairly well, even though it never got going. Those positives, they do outweigh the negatives a little bit, but not enough for me to say this is a movie that I loved. If I had to go with an overall rating, I'm going to settle on a 6 out of 10. For me, an average film. I get most of you think it's above average. Some of you think it's great. I understand that. But as a Fincher fan and a fan of these type of drama, intense movies, it just didn't land for me all that much. I don't think it's a bad movie by any sense. You know, 6 out of 10 is still an average to above average rating. Just, I don't know, in terms of Fincher films, it kind of falls near the bottom for me. Not at the bottom, not at all, but probably bottom half of his filmography. So, I don't know. Is it a sign that Fincher is not on a downfall? To me, no. It was better than Mank, like I said, and I do like him getting back to the basics and getting back to his style of filmmaking. Here's to hoping that the next Fincher film can hit for me and can be a big-time success like Fight Club, Gone Girl, Social Network, like those movies were for me. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you thought of this movie, and let me know your rating out of 10 in the comments below. I'd love to discuss this movie with you and talk about this movie. Also, if you don't mind, leave your top 3, top 5, whatever of Fincher in the comments below. I love to see how you guys rate this director. He's one of my favorites. I recently made a list of my 20 favorite directors, and he was one of the first names I wrote on there, so please, I'd love to talk to you guys about him. Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. It all helps out so much. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, and we are doing a giveaway when we get there, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.